15th of Harvest, 825 Western Kingdom. Location, New Seagate walled port and river city of the Duchy of Karzala.
Mirko, I relay the initial findings regarding the troubling incident at the Vance estate.
The air, even within the silver scriptorium, carried a dryness of old paper and beeswax, a stark counterpoint to the city's usual briny breath. It was here, amidst the hushed opulence of Merchant's Row, that Magistra Lyra Soul presented the peculiar dilemma. Willowbrook Fairweather, observant and quiet, absorbed the room's scent, an almost imperceptible undercurrent of something metallic beneath the wax. Dalton Fellwinter, ever pragmatic, stood a little apart, his gaze sweeping the ornate room as if searching for unseen vulnerabilities. Mara Goldpocket, a glint of shrewd mischief in her eyes, perched on the edge of a velvet chair, her mind already weighing angles and unseen doors. Willow Larkspur, hands clasped, processed Lyra's words with a botanical precision, while Gemma Fairweather, though nervous, watched Lyra's every tremor, discerning the true weight of her exhaustion. Lyra, sharp-boned and severe in silk, spoke of the eye of the deep's inexplicable disappearance. 3 wards, Dwarven Lock, Priestly Glyph, Vance's private seal, all bypassed without force, without a whisper of alarm.
The how, she emphasized, carried a far heavier price than the colossal sapphire itself.
Vance, she confessed, had been seen on the parapets, muttering of the Covenant.
This was no common thief. This was a riddle whispered in the heart of prosperity.
Our initial inquiries, Mirko, led the operatives deeper into New Seagate's textured reality. The morning light, a golden syrup across the cobblestones, saw them descend from the silent marble of Merchant's Row into the cacophony of ferrymen's slips. Here, the summer's warmth clung to the narrow lanes, thick with the scent of drying fishnuts, tar, and the distant sweet decay of overripe fruit from the markets now bustling with autumn bounty preparations. Dalton, his gruff demeanor a shield, navigated the crowded docks with a seasoned ease, his eyes missing nothing of the shifting currents of humanity. Willowbrook, ever kind, offered a small remedy for a barking child, earning a quick, grateful nod that often proved more valuable than coin. Mara, swift and shadow-footed, peeled away to work her own network, a whisper here, a shared jest there, uncovering the unseen threads. Their target, Finian, a cartographer lost to rum. In a dingy tavern, stinking of stale ale and ambition, Willow Larkspur, with a quiet sincerity, appealed to Finian's forgotten pride in his craft, while Gemma offered him a carefully preserved slice of pear from the season's abundant harvest.
A silent, black-sailed sloop, unlike any local vessel, departing an hour before dawn towards the desolate Weeping Teeth.
The quest, still in its nascent stages, was already demanding a mastery of New Seagate's layered societal strata, each interaction a delicate balance. Mirko, the journey to the Weeping Teeth commenced with the sunrise, a crimson promise that bled across the Karzalan Sea. The black-sailed sloop, Finian's description echoing in their minds, guided their borrowed fishing vessel through the increasingly choppy waters. Dalton, a stoic sentinel at the prow, scanned the horizon with the intensity of a seasoned ranger, his focus unwavering even as the vessel pitched and rolled. Mara, surprisingly affected by the rough sea, nevertheless kept a keen eye on their wake, ever wary of unseen pursuers. Willow Larkspur and Willowbrook, their herbalist knowledge extending to seafaring ailments, offered small comforts and calm words against the rising unease. The passage took 2 days, marked by meager meals of dried rations and restless sleep under a vast, indifferent sky, the long summer days giving way to cool, starlit nights that whispered of the deeper mysteries beneath the waves. By the afternoon of the 3rd day, the Weeping Teeth emerged,
a jagged, skeletal archipelago of sun-bleached rock, rising like ancient broken molars from the sea.
The air here was heavy with salt and the cries of seabirds, a desolate beauty that spoke of isolation and forgotten time. They discovered a hidden cove, its entrance shrouded by a natural arch. Ashore, amidst sun-baked stones, they found the faint traces of a temporary camp, a few charred embers, a discarded, oddly cut piece of rope, and a peculiar metallic tang in the air that Mara's keen nose identified as something manufactured, not organic. As they explored, a territorial griffin, its nest disturbed by their presence, swooped down with a predatory shriek. Dalton, with practiced swiftness, drew his blade, engaging the beast, while Mara, with a well-aimed slingshot, distracted it. Willowbrook and Gemma stood ready with poultices and a healer's steady hand, should the engagement turn dire, while Willow Larkspur, recognizing a rare phosphorescent moss growing only in the deep shadows of the cove, collected a small sample.
The griffin, wounded, retreated.
The silent sloop's presence here was confirmed, leaving behind only these sparse, enigmatic clues.
Returning to New Seagate on the morning of the 5th day, the city felt a different beast, Mirko. The summer sun, now less a benevolent presence and more a scrutinizing eye, illuminated the undercurrents of their quest. The clues from the weeping teeth were meager, but the single, dried widow's blush petal from Vance's estate remained a stark anomaly. Willow Larkspur, after careful examination, confirmed its identity, a rare bloom from the high, mist-shrouded gardens of the Order of the Silent Watchers. This revelation, more than any other, seemed to anchor the unsettling notion of an intimate, almost philosophical betrayal. The Order, ensconced in the old citadel, was a bastion of ancient texts, and, it was rumored, forbidden knowledge. Dalton, sensing the shift in the quest's nature from a physical pursuit to an intellectual unraveling, advised caution. Mara, however, saw an opportunity for her unique talents. Under the guise of a scholarly patron seeking obscure historical texts, she infiltrated the Order's outer sanctum, her charming wit easing suspicion, her sharp eyes cataloging every detail. Willowbrook, in the meantime, used her knowledge of medicinal herbs to subtly inquire among the Citadel's vendors about any recent unusual purchases or requests, connecting with those who frequented the Order's periphery. Gemma, her natural caution heightening her senses, observed the rigid adherence to routine among the Order's lay staff, noting a subtle, almost imperceptible tension beneath their placid exteriors. While Mara uncovered no direct evidence, she overheard cryptic fragments, whispers of ancient compacts, and a debt finally paid among the robed figures, hinting at a motivation far grander than mere theft. The eye of the deep, it seemed, was less stolen and more reclaimed. This discovery, unsettling in its implications, cast a long shadow over New Seagate's glittering facade. By the end of the 7th day, Mirko, the pieces, though still incomplete, began to coalesce into a disturbing tableau. The operatives, weary from a week of relentless pursuit, gathered in a discreet inn in the lower tides, the summer heat now giving way to the gentle, cooling breezes of an approaching autumn evening. The city hummed with the autumn bounty markets, their vibrant energy a stark contrast to the gravity of their findings. Dalton, leaning back, the flickering lamplight highlighting the lines of experience on his face, surmised.
This wasn't about gold. This was about principle, or something like it.
Willowbrook, ever thoughtful, nodded. The covenant Vance spoke of. It ties into the Order's whispers. A payment, perhaps. Mara, her nimble fingers idly polishing a silver coin, added.
And the discreet departure, the care taken not to trip alarms, suggests knowledge not just of the estate, but of Vance himself, an insider, or someone taught by one.
Willow Larkspur, recalling the elusive phosphorescent moss, mused about the meticulous planning, while Gemma Fairweather, her earlier nervousness replaced by a quiet determination, noted how the theft challenged the very notion of security in a city built on wealth.
The Eye of the Deep was indeed recovered, through means I cannot disclose in this missive, returned to Lyra's soul, who accepted it with a profound, almost tragic relief. The reward was paid, discreetly, as promised. Yet the method of the theft, its quiet elegance, its deliberate undermining of Vance's esoteric protections, remained a wound deeper than mere loss. It implied a force that could reach into the very granite heart of prosperity, operating beyond the known laws of commerce and power, making even Lord Vance feel unsettlingly mortal. The unspoken tension in New Seagate remains, a fissure in its foundation, a silent question hanging heavy in the late summer air. What other covenants might be broken? What other prices might be demanded in the shadowed corners of this city of glittering fish, half submerged in the black wash of the Carzalan Sea? The implications, Mirko, are profound and far-reaching. The Eye of the Deep is back, but the city itself feels less secure.